The moment of creation is a form of magic, where an off becomes an on, a 0 becomes a 1, then another, and another, until, deep in the complexity, you discover order, speed, reliability, power. Experience the WD Black NVMe SSD. Fueled by darkness. Level up to NVMe SSD performance.
Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. And injustice. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG Ultragear Gaming Monitor.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WD Black the Esports Club League for Rainbow Six Siege, powered by LG Ultragear in association with ACD Fibernet, Zotac Gaming, and Games The Shop. I am your host, Blackjack, and joining me for this game is Baba Gusta, as we are here for the game between Virtual 5 and Union Gaming on Border. Baba, how do you feel about the game we have on hand?
I mean, it's going to be pretty intense because we have Virtual 5 going up against Union Gaming, and looking by the bans that both of these teams are going on through, they just don't want these important operators in the game, like Thatcher, Monty, Maestro, and the last ban would either be an Echo or a Valk, but we still have a little moment to think on what's going to happen here when Union Gaming is going to be banning either an Echo. No, they're going to ban Mira instead. So that means Valk and Echo is still in the play on Border, in which you can make, you can make unbelievable plays on towards an Armory Lockers and Archives. So this is going to be pretty interesting for Union Gaming to defend, as we will see Virtual 5 going on towards on attack. The only problem is they just have to know how well that they're going to perform here.
Absolutely, and given that this is, of course, the first round, both teams will be busy feeling each other out, making sure they know how the enemy team is playing. V5, of course, we've seen them play before absolutely spectacularly. Same goes for Union Gaming. Both these teams are here in Division 1, and it is Division 1 for a reason, as we are here for the highest tier of play that is possible in the WD Black the Esports Club League for Rainbow Six Siege. First sight is going to be Armory from the side of Union Gaming, as we have both of the rosters here on screen. Jay on the Castle, Blank on the Wamai, JV on the Legion, Fatals on the Kaid, and Nos on the Smoke. In the meanwhile, on the side of Virtual 5, we have Kuskid on the IQ, Mike on the Nomad, Script on the Sledge, Noble Wolf on the Thermite, and Sayajin on the Zofia. All important operators, especially operators for the side of defense. We have Smoke, an OG operator who's been here since the very beginning of the game. Such a lot of utility with his canisters, his shotguns, the SMG-11. Jay, of course, he's playing the Castle, who has seen a recent rise in his utility with the Super Shorty, which is soon to be taken away from Mozzie, unfortunately. Poor Mozzie's going to be losing one of the guns he came along with, as Blank is on the Womai, and actually there is no Jaeger, so the only utility denial coming up from the side of Union Gaming is going to be the Womai. That's actually quite interesting, because Jaeger, he's almost a compulsory pick, one could say, on any defensive team, and he's not here, which is going to be very interesting to see how UG play around that, given that they're the ones who made that decision, of course. In the meanwhile, Claymore on the office window is going to secure that particular run out for the side of Sayajin on the Zofia, as Kuskid and Noble Wolf are watching the first floor teller's window to make sure nobody gets a run out from there either. Mike, in the meanwhile, has already pushed into the east stairs landing area. As Fatal's inside of office, he's going to be making a few holes to make sure he gets that C4 play right, as he actually is ready to throw it out at a moment's notice, along with, of course, his Electric Loss to deny the Thermite push. That is his Noble Wolf, who's going to be playing the Thermite. Flashbangs are being thrown inside, and a grenade is being prepared, and it gets thrown in, but it only downs Fatals, as he's, of course, a 3 armor, and the grenade was just a little off the mark. Jay's here, and he might go for the revive, but another grenade is being prepared, but Script actually isn't going to throw it just yet. He's going to angle it a little better, as the revive does go off, and the grenade is down, but Fatals will get away with his life in his hands. 20 HP to his name, as the breach from Thermite is going to go down on the office wall, and office control is slowly being established from the side of Virtual 5. Union Gaming, they have lines of sight from inside of the archive site, but they're going to have to try and win those gunfights that Virtual 5 are going to be confronting them with very, very soon. More intel gathering coming out from Thermite. Noble Wolf is going to make sure that the IQ pushing in, that's Kuskid, of course, is going to have enough intel to know where the defenders are, what they're about to do, and whether or not they're peeking. As Fatals is actually going for a prone peek on that breach, the soft wall. He's actually rotating into office right by the desk, as Jay is going to drop Kuskid in the meanwhile. That's the IQ off the board, and that is a big kill. A lot of defender intel would have been taken out otherwise, as Blank is actually preparing for a peek. Mike, in the meanwhile, is going to get Jay, and that is down on the teller side here. A defender is down. The Nomad, he's going to be rotating up the east stairs, already expended all of his utility in the form of the air jabs, as Blank is preparing for this peek on that 90 bend of the balcony. Sayajin is already here, but Script is going to be taken out by Nos. That is a smoke, and he has kill onto the sledge. And the side pushes, it's going to be now or never for the side of Virtual 5. It is now a 3v4 that they have to contest with about 20 seconds left in the round, excuse me. As more Legion mines are being thrown by JV on the Legion, as they have the man and time advantage. But what a shot from Mike. He gets a kill, but his C4 being prepared from below. The throw comes out right now, but there we go. That's going to be the kill. The Nomad is down and is now a 2v3. Nos gets another one. It's a 1v3, all down to Sayajin on the Zofia, who doesn't have time nor the place. And there we go. The kill is confirmed finally, as Union Gaming will win round 1 here on Border.
I mean, Blackjack, did you actually saw Nomad just rushing through the smoke?
Yeah, I did.
That wasn't necessary. He could have just plant on the side through default on towards on archives. He had so many people to give angles to provide cover, but instead, rushing in to try to take out Wamai, who was situated in the archives entrance, may actually cost them the round here.
Absolutely, and well, it did, as we saw, the Nomad making a bit of an unfortunate play, as Mike was taken out without getting the plant off, and that is a little unfortunate. Fatals looks like he's going to be having a bit of a disconnection.
Fatality.
Fatality. You didn't have to do that to me, Baba, but you did.
I just can't control it. Every time if I see something, it just blows out of my mind.
You see the opportunity, your eyes light up.
Yeah.
It's like that eyes glow meme. It's like, oh, real. No, not gonna say that. Thank you. And the rehost request hasn't come in yet. Yeah.
I mean, even the prep phase has also come into play. So with Union Gaming only having, look at that. Union Gaming sticking out so strong by deciding not to go for the rehost, as they are already on a man disadvantage. So this can be an easy win here for Virtual 5 if they execute it properly. Knowing for the fact that they only have one trap operator, who is Capcan and Legion, and they still have one anti-denial operator that would be Nos, who's going to be playing as mute. And as usual, we still have Jay with his super shorty and his armor panels to give way to numerous amount of rotation holes being made from the defenders. And with Virtual 5 advancing on towards on round 2, let's see what's going to happen.
Absolutely, well said. With that early man, oh, never mind. The man count is going to be equalized as Jay gets a kill on to Kuskit. That is once again the IQ being the first one to drop for Virtual 5 inside of CCTV of all places. And not really sure where Jay got that angle from, but he definitely did. And that is, of course, a big, big kill because the IQ, as I said the last round, very important for any attacking team to take out defender utility inside of sight. And that has been denied for them. So good props to Jay right there. Getting that first kill was very, very important to equalize the man count. But Nos is going to get another one, in fact. That is Noble Wolf, the Thermite, off the board, as he has a shotgun in hand inside of Armory. Sayajian's going to take down Jay in the meanwhile. The castle finally goes down. Man count is equalized. And oh, what a grenade from Script right there as he takes out the mute playing inside of Armory. And that is Nos off the board, leaving it down to just Blank and Jay inside of sight. Trying to play vertical angles right there, Blank, on the cap can. Not going to be able to. The 9x19 DSN, not exactly the best gun to play longer angles with. But, oh, the C4 comes out instead. And with that, it's a 2v2 situation between Virtual 5 and Union Gaming here in round 2. Union Gaming, they denied the rehost. And they said, nope, we don't need it. And clearly they don't, as Virtual 5 is being forced to rethink their position here. The hatch is open here on Archives, and they have the option to drop through, but they know that the Legion is going to be watching for that exact push from the side of the attacking team, and they are going to have to be all the more careful for it. As there we go, the drone will spot out where JV is playing, but it's still a precarious job if the attackers choose to go for it. And Mike, he of course has the diffuser. He has to be that much more careful for his team. Legion has a good angle onto this hatch, which is obviously denying the push from the side of the attackers, but the flashbangs are being thrown in, and Sayajian will actually get a kill onto Blank, leaving it all down in a 1v2 situation for JV to get his kills from. The Nomad charges. One is going to stop the rotation from Legion. He's going to put in another one to try and stop him even further, as Sayajian's going to go for this flank from the outside hallway. Mike, in the meanwhile, is going to go for the plant, and it's all down to JV to get these kills for his team. He's lit up by the Zofia, and the plant has gone off, so he's have to play in the post-plant situation. 1v2 that he has to play in. It's a clutch situation. Can he do it? He's going to go for the push, but the Nomad is right there to get the kill, and there we go. Mike, with the final shot onto JV, will win Virtual 5 their first round here on Border. Round 2 goes to V5.
I mean, it was a great effort from Union Gaming to try to equalize the, trying to gain advantage, but all in the end, it didn't quite work out because Nomad already had those two air jabs up in her possession. She could just care less in the world. She just normally just planted it out and eventually gave Virtual 5 the win that they needed. And with that, we will be seeing third round as Union Gaming is going to yet again defend on the same site on Ventilation and Workshop.
Indeed, Ventilation and Workshop coming out the second time from the side of UG as they look to solidify their defense and try to get more rounds on the board. Of course, it's early game. Still, no one can really say where the game is going to go, in whose favor or not, especially after we saw that game between Never Diamonds and Vector Sports last week, which was absolutely insane. It was a comeback for the ages, really, for Vector Sports. As after that game, I've kind of stopped making round predictions unless it's like a complete sweep in the first 4 rounds. I think making round predictions is exactly what gets me in trouble sometimes, because I make a round prediction and then suddenly, oop, Jay, you don't want to block your friend out there.
I mean, it's called as a caster's curse, right? Like even
The
Poppy
caster's curse.
tells me, because each and every time when you try to predict something, next thing you know, the player does the exact opposite. Just to prove us
Exactly,
wrong.
yeah.
Anyways, we'll see as Union Gaming yet again at a man disadvantage are going to defend yet again on towards on Ventilation, while we see Jay, who's playing as Castle, will defend on towards on Armory Lockers to prevent the attackers to gain access and play vertical control right from below. the ventilation room. It's going to be very difficult for Union Gaming, but with Blank, who's playing as Jaeger, a little bit of flanks could actually help Union Gaming turn this whole thing around.
Absolutely well said. Flanks and flank watch is one of the most important things in Rainbow Six Siege, as it looks like a three-man push is going to be happening on the side of the armory door here. Flashbangs are being thrown to burn out the ADS that Blank has placed there exactly for his team. And oh, a peek, but it's going to cost him his life. A script is going to take down Jay. And oh, wait, what? Not entirely sure what's happening. Blank went down and he immediately left the game. Jay and Nos are down. It's all down to JV in this 1v5 situation.
Ah, that is so bad.
And looks like Union Gaming is trying to call a forfeit. Oh dear.
That is so sad to see, because like just as Union Gaming was saying that one of his teammate had a problem with a thunderstorm, so because of that he couldn't be able to use his PC in a proper manner, so that's the reason why Team Union Gaming is going to forfeit. So Virtual 5 has won default.
Well, that is just completely unfortunate and very disheartening, but you know, the circumstances and situations happen. You can't really help them. Everyone's in lockdown, and technical difficulties are just everywhere these days. Let's be real. Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, looks like we've had a forfeit called from the side of Union Gaming, as a thunderstorm is going to be what's stopping their team members from playing the match. And of course, you don't want to play with like 2 or 3 people left. That is just completely impossible to win. So Virtual 5 are going to be given a victory by default, as we will very soon be moving to the third game of tonight. That is between Hoffen Esports and Hawks Gaming. That's a big one. Very exciting game coming up. You don't want to miss it. As we here at the caster seat are going to be taking a little break. Everyone can take a little break as well. As I have been Blackjack, your host, and joining me has been Baba Gusta. A little bit unfortunate, but we will of course see you with that third game very, very soon. Stay tuned and don't go anywhere.
The moment of creation is a form of magic, where an off becomes an on, a 0 becomes a 1, then another, and another, until, deep in the complexity, you discover order, speed, reliability, power. Experience the WD Black NVMe SSD. Fueled by darkness. Level up to NVMe SSD performance.